like I'm a fucking science experiment. You will absolutely not pull my hair. You can't even do that stuff in the States. You think I'm gonna fucking let you do that when we're in fucking Cambodia? Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Y'all, I know my hair be looking fucked up in these videos. Laying a fucking lace wig, that shit is so hard. I haven't figured it out yet. If you're looking at my shit and you're like, it doesn't look good, I'm sorry. Okay, I know. It was either film a video looking like this or film a video in the fucking ball cap method. It's not pretty. In this video, I really wanted to discuss my Black experience overseas because it was a fucking experience. So just to give you a little bit of background information, my friend and I decided that we wanted to travel to Southeast Asia. We were gone for 27 days, which is a little over 3 weeks. The three countries we visited were Thailand, Cambodia, and Vietnam. Within each country, we probably visited about 2 to 3 cities. Can't really remember. And I'm not about to fucking pull up the Google Doc. So we were there for quite a while. I mean, 3 weeks is kind of a long time to be gone. So I'm gonna be sharing my Black experience over those 3 countries for me, okay? Obviously it's gonna differ if you're traveling overseas or if you have traveled, it's gonna be different for everybody, but this is what I experienced within each country. So traveling to Asia was my first time overseas. No doubt about it. It was one of the most unforgettable trips of my life. It was absolutely amazing. So my trip to Asia was a trip of many firsts. I popped a lot of traveling cherries. I'm sorry, that actually sounded a lot better in my head. Now, would I do it again? Yes. Without a doubt, I would do that shit again, all over again. This was the first experience in my entire life that truly got me out of my comfort zone. And because of that, I will always cherish it. Now, let's get to being Black. Okay, so when I traveled to Asia, I traveled with one of my best friends who is Asian. So I was already fully aware that I was gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It's different if you're traveling with someone that looks like you, then it's fine, y'all can kind of stick out together. And now that I think about it, it's probably good that we didn't, I don't know. But I already knew that I was gonna stick out. Plus I'm 5'8", she's like 5'3". She's Asian. She looks like majority of the countries we're going to. I already knew. Not to mention, I had already done my research. I have read blogs, I've seen videos, I watched Karate Kids. I already knew fully kind of what to expect. Plus, I'm the type of person, I'm not gonna let being Black as if it's an issue, because it's not, keep me from doing the things that I wanna do, especially when it comes to traveling. Except traveling to the South, I ain't going there because I am Black. Y'all can keep that. I'm from Texas, and Texas is the farthest that I'm going in the South. Y'all can keep Mississippi, Alabama, Missouri. But other than that, I'm not gonna let anything stop me from doing the things that I wanna do. Now, being overseas, I knew I was gonna get a lot of stares, right? Obviously. Look at me. Actually, I didn't even look like this. I looked kind of rough. All the countries I visited were friendly as fuck, but if I had to choose the country that was the friendliest, it definitely had to be Thailand. The Thai people, honestly, in my opinion, did not give a fuck that I was Black. And if they did a really good job of hiding it. You know, I feel like it's very easy to spot someone staring at you, right? Like if you're sitting down, you can usually feel someone staring at you. In Thailand, I didn't feel that at all. I would be looking at people and they would be looking the other way. Like, I don't know, like I just felt like no one was really staring at me or no one really cared. It wasn't really such of a big deal. Like people would pass me all the time and it was just like, there's a Black girl. And then if someone was staring at me, it was like a friendly stare. It would be like a big ass smile. It'd be like hey, like very welcoming, very warm. I absolutely loved it. They didn't really make a big deal about it, kind of like the other countries did in a way, but we're gonna talk about that later. I wanna say Cambodia was similar as well. I feel like the Cambodian people itself, like themselves, I felt like they really didn't care or make a big deal out of the fact that I was Black. Let me tell y'all what happened. So when we were in Cambodia, we were in the city of Siem Reap, probably fucking that up. But in that city, that's where all the like major temples are, like the temple, like Angkor Wat and stuff like that. Me and my friend and our tour guide was kind of like waiting off to the side because me and my friend were like taking pictures. Now the thing about visiting the temples in Siem Reap, it's a big tourist attraction. So just picture being outside in like this area where this beautiful ass temple is, which is like hundreds and thousands of years old, and it's super packed with so many people from all around the world. Sitting up here, I was about to take the picture of my friend, and so I see the group of people. Now in my head, I'm thinking, okay, they're going to pass. So I like kind of step back a little bit, and I'm like waiting for them to pass. But instead of passing in front of me, they just swarm me. They come swarming me. Is that the word? Swarming? Oh, fuck. I feel like I fuck up words every time I film these videos. Anyways, swarming. We're gonna go with swarming. So they come like swarming me. You know, it just doesn't sound right. Surrounding me. They come surrounding me and like touching my hair. And mind you, I did have my hair in box braids, thick ass box braids with the beads, bitch. And they're like touching my hair. This one guy, he's like giving the phone to his friend. He's like, take picture, take picture. And they're like touching my clothes, and they're like looking at my hair, like their faces are literally like, and I was kind of just standing there like, not really sure what to do. Again, I kind of already expected that something like that would happen, but not like the way it did. During that moment, I was going through a lot, okay? The first thing I was thinking was, oh my fucking God, it's happening. It is fucking happening. This is what I've read about, and it is fucking happening right now. The second thing that was going through my mind was, oh my God, this is probably their first interaction with a Black person. Let me be good. Let me not freak out, because most likely the stuff that they've seen about Black people isn't very good, thanks to our American system. I'll get into that a little bit later, but that's what was going through my mind. Like, oh my God, like this is their first time probably with a Black person. Like, let me not play into those Black stereotypes that they've probably seen on American TV or anything like that. And then the third thing that was going through my mind was, oh my fucking God, these people are really close, and I really wish they would back the fuck up. I was a whirl of emotions, if you will. Again, I wasn't really too upset just because I kind of expected it. I was a little like taken back because the way they just kind of like, they almost like bombarded me. So I was kind of like, oh my, and it was like 6 to 7 people. And I was like, oh my God, I was a little taken back. But they weren't rude or anything. Honestly, it was more just like a curious look. After that, they kind of just left, and we kind of just proceeded on with our tour. At that same fucking temple though, this time we were inside, and our tour guide was actually like explaining to us the fucking hieroglyphics and shit on the wall, like explaining what they meant. And literally like this lady, I didn't even see this lady. I did not even see her. You know how in selfie mode or whatever, so she had her camera kind of like that. And so the guy, my tour guide, my friend is like standing up here, and I'm like standing like where I am. And so the lady out of nowhere, she's like this, and then she just puts her camera like in my face, and she's like, you know, like, my friend was like, excuse me. And she like was in the lady's face, and she was like, don't be rude, don't be rude. First of all, I was like, okay, shout out to my friend. Thank you, bitch, for standing up for me. Go ahead, bestie, right? Also, I want to be completely honest with you guys and completely transparent. In that moment, that's when I kind of realized that it's okay for me to speak up if I'm feeling uncomfortable. I definitely do not mind someone asking me to take a picture, especially if it's something they've never seen before or experienced, or they've never talked to a Black person. Like, I get it, you know? I get it if you're curious and you genuinely just have questions, or if you just genuinely just want to take a picture because you don't know when the next time you're ever gonna like stand next to a Black person. I get it. But at the same time, if I'm feeling uncomfortable, it is okay for me to speak up. Like, you can take a picture of me all day long, but you will not poke at me like I'm a fucking science experiment. You will absolutely not pull my hair. You can't even do that stuff in the States. You think I'm gonna fucking let you do that when we're in fucking Cambodia? Absolutely not. Before, I kind of felt like I had to deal with it as a Black woman. I feel like Black women, Black people, we kind of have this like negative, or actually it isn't no kind of. We have a negative stereotype when it comes to us. We just do. So I was just really nervous of being like, quote unquote, like mean, or saying like, no, don't touch me, because I don't want them to get like a bad view on Black people, if that makes sense. In a way, I felt like I kind of had to represent Black people, which is so stupid to even say out loud, because I am my own person, and there is no way one person can represent an entire fucking race or whatever the fuck. But in that instance, I realized that it is okay for me to be like, no, like, I'm uncomfortable, and that doesn't make me saying that I am uncomfortable and don't want to be touched or don't want a picture is not making Black people look bad. But in that moment, I didn't realize that. I was just like, okay, I kind of just have to deal with it, you know, just be nice, put on a nice smile, haha, yes, no, no, thank you, yes, yeah, sure. No, bitch. If you come up to me politely and you're like, let's take a picture, then I'm like, okay, cool. But if you're gonna pull on my hair and tug at my clothes, which is weird because I was fucking wearing regular fucking clothes, then it's gonna be a problem. Moving on to Vietnam. Okay, so Vietnam I was a little shocked about. Bitch, the Vietnamese, whoo, they know how to throw down in a kitchen. If I had to pick the place with the best food, Vietnam. If I also had to pick the place that made me feel the most uncomfortable, Vietnam, which is so weird because my friend is Vietnamese and she's probably gonna be watching this video like, bitch, what the fuck? I'm sorry, but you need to know. The entire time I was traveling, which was again like 3.5 weeks, I saw maybe a total of 6 black people. 6. But 3 of those black people I saw in Vietnam, like going into that airport, because we took a plane from Cambodia to Vietnam. I kind of assumed like, okay, black people probably, or people of darker skin tone, whatever. No, fuck it. Black people probably frequent here often. Bitch, I was fucking wrong. The minute I stepped into Vietnam, bitch, people were like, what the fuck is that? That is the type of stares that I got. All the other places where I got stares from, it was usually like friendly stares. Vietnam, they were like, they would stare at me and I would stare back, and we would literally look like that meme of Diddy and that guy and how they're like staring at each other, like just staring. They would literally be like, bitch, you'd have thought my name was fucking Whiplash, the way these people were breaking their necks to get a second look. You would have thought that the baddest bitch had entered the room, the way these people were stopping in their tracks just to stare at me. Of course, it definitely wasn't that type of situation, but like people were staring so hard. Now, to all the little situations that happened, because even after those 2 that I talked about, like people would still like take pictures of me, stuff like that, whatever. But out of all the situations that I dealt with, this one right here is probably the one that pissed me off the most, and here's why. So when we were in Vietnam, I think we were in, I cannot remember. Sorry, it's a fly. Ha Long Bay, and it was probably maybe a couple of days out before we headed home. So by this point, we were already tired. 3 weeks had already passed. We were down to the last couple of days of our trip. I was tired. My friend was tired. We were kind of at the point where we just wanted to come to see what we wanted to see and like leave. So what we did was we went on like a boat tour, and they was gonna take us out and see like the large, I still don't even know what they're called. Like they're like giant pieces of rock, but they're like in water, and it's super beautiful when you're actually out there looking at them like close up. We're taking one of those tours, and it wasn't just us on this tour. It was like hundreds of people on this tour. So me and my friend were kind of like standing off to the side waiting for our tour guide, and buses and buses and buses of people were pulling up again from all over. A bus of like 30 people would pull up. They would spot me, they would stare, they would trip over each other just staring at me. So at that point I was just like, oh my God, like Lord, like Jesus, just get me on the fucking boat. Just get me on the boat. That's all I want. I just want to get on my boat, and I just want to see the damn rocks, and I want to go home, and I want to chill in my hotel, and I just want to sleep. That's it. This lady comes up, and her and her husband or whatever, and they're about to approach me. Like they are about to approach me. She already has her camera out, like filming me. And my friend is like, no, she doesn't want any pictures. Like no, like go away. Like we're not doing this right now. Go away. So the husband, he catches an attitude, and he's like, and so I'm looking at him like, is there a problem? You know what I mean? He goes away. His wife. So she's standing right there. So she's like, I'm like right here. My friend is like maybe like 3 feet in front of me, and the lady's like next to my friend. So she starts taking pictures of the surrounding, which is fine. Now, this is the part that pisses me off. I'm not an idiot, okay? I am literally standing next to a bank. Not even a bank, like, you know, like the ATM. So there's literally nothing to take a picture of behind me. There's absolutely nothing. Everything else is fucking parking lot. It's literally me standing next to this ATM. So she goes around and she fucking like does this as if she's taking a selfie. And again, I'm not an idiot. I know she was trying to fucking take a picture of me, and I catch it. So I turn my back to her, and I'm like turned for a good, like, I say a minute, because I know what she was trying to do. Like, I know you were trying to sneak a picture of me. I'm not fucking stupid. She's like looking at me like, what's your fucking problem? And I give her the look like, bitch, you're the problem. And so finally, she like walks away. That's so rude. Like, I told you I didn't want a fucking picture and you're gonna try to like sneak one of me? Like, I don't know. I just thought that was extremely rude. And then they were like rude about it. Again, maybe she just didn't realize how rude she was coming off, which I assumed. But at the end of the day, I was like, no, not gonna lie. She really did piss me off. Now that I'm here and I'm like thinking about it, I'm just like, okay, it is what it is. It really wasn't that serious. But in that moment, y'all, I was so mad. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a problem today. After that, like, it was fine. The boat ride was fine. I enjoyed it. It was really nice. The rocks and stuff were really pretty and the people on my boat was really cool. Okay, so the last experience, again, this was the last leg of the trip. At this point, we maybe only had probably like a day left before we left to the airport to go back to the States or whatever. And my friend was like, okay, let's go to this like really popular museum here in Ha Long Bay. We get to the museum, nobody's there. Like, it's very, very empty. Like, it was a very cold and rainy day. So nobody was really at the museum. It was like me and my friend and maybe like, I don't know, 6 other people, maybe, I don't know. So we're in the museum and there's this little girl and she's like 8. Out of all the stares that I had gotten my entire trip, her stare, or her glare, should I say, was probably the most piercing glare that I've ever seen in my life. When I say this little girl was glaring at me so fucking hard. The thing about a child staring at you versus an adult is I feel like an adult, like, they know if they're staring at somebody. So if you're staring at somebody and they catch you staring at them, the adult person will probably be like, oh shit, like, let me not stare and turn away. Children do not give a fuck. When I say this little girl would literally turn her whole body to fucking stare at me. Like, me and my friend would be looking at something and she would literally be off to the side like some fucking like ghost or some shit, just staring at me. Like, it was so bad to the point where she was literally following us, staring at me. Go into one room, she would come in that room, stand in the corner and just stare at me. We're in a museum, all this shit on the walls to stare at, all this shit on the tables to stare at, but you choose to stare at me. Your parents, which by the way, where the fuck were they? Where the fuck were you when your demon spawn child was fucking glaring into my soul? Your parents brought you to this museum so you can learn something and you decide to stare at me. Most likely her parents ain't never seen a black person before, so the fact that she was staring at me, I was like, the stares hurt, like it burns, but she was young, she was a kid, so she really didn't know any better, so they say. Honestly, out of everybody, it was her. She was the one that fucking made me feel the most uncomfortable. But anyways, those were kind of the situations or little incidents that I had to deal with when I was overseas. I definitely do not want to discourage anybody. If you are someone of color and you want to travel, but you're afraid that your skin color might be an issue, do not feel that way, especially if you're trying to travel overseas to Asia. Even though those were the little incidents that I had to deal with, overall, like, the people in each and every one of those countries were extremely friendly. People would stare at me in Vietnam, but they weren't like rude to me. We didn't have any problems with our hotels or tour guides or taxis or restaurants or anything like that just because I was black. It was really not an issue. Yes, they would stare, but other than that, like, it was completely fine. You're going to be fine. Not once did I feel like my life was in danger. Not once was I scared or anything like that. Like I said, it was completely fine. And I really did enjoy myself. Those incidents are so minor when you look at the greater picture. I absolutely loved my stay overseas. I absolutely loved it. And if I had the opportunity to do it again with all those issues that I encountered, I would do it in a heartbeat because I feel like it's worth it. One good thing to remember, or at least the one way that I chose to look at things, is if you do go to another country and people are staring at you, they're only staring at you because you're unfamiliar. That's all. It's not that they want to hurt you or harm you or they don't like you or anything like that. It's just because you're different, especially when you go to a country where a majority of the people that inhabit that country all kind of look very similar. So obviously if you place me in the middle, they're going to be like, what the fuck is that? I have no regrets about it. Honestly, the only regret I have is packing because I definitely overpacked a whole bunch of shit. But other than that, I have no regrets. I loved it. And if you can get the opportunity to travel, take it. All right, that is all I have for this video. So if you like this type of video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't seen my other videos, I will link them down below. If you are broke as fuck and you want to travel, then you should probably watch my how to travel video. If you're broke as fuck, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys again soon.